Hello and welcome to Maximum Change TV. My name is Dr. Philip Foster, and I'm really excited to come to you today and talk to you about my new book. Now, I've already mentioned this in another video, but I wanted to come to you today and talk to you a little bit more about the Open Organization, a new era of leadership and organizational development, now in its second edition. You can find this on Amazon, or you can go to my website at MaximumChange.com and click on the resource button, and you can see a link there for the book. Now, this book was originally published in 2014 under Gower Publishing, Ashgate imprint, and it's now available in second edition through Maximum Change Press and Amazon. And so we self-published this. And so we're really excited about this because this is a softbound book. It's the same footprint of size 7 by 10, but it is a lot better priced for the consumer. It's at about $30 right now on Amazon, so you might want to check that out. It's only available through Amazon right now. You can get it both in print and in ebook. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about what else is different about this book other than the exciting price that is available. So we reworked the book. There was some mechanics that needed to be fixed, some misspellings or something maybe. There was a little mechanical issues that were in there. But in chapter 1 on page 18, I did a little rework on theories X, Y, and Z. So if you go in there and you look at page 18 and 19, if you've seen the other book, you'll notice that that is a difference. If you've never seen this book before, then you can totally disregard any of these changes that I'm talking about. However, in chapter 4, I wanted to let you know about some other things that we reworked, and that was under the area of meritocracy. And I'm going to tell you what page that is on here, if you just bear with me, and you'd think that I would have that memorized by now, but I don't. So meritocracy appears on page 67 through page 69 in the book. Now, when we first wrote this book, starting in 2013, it got published in 2014, so a lot has happened in 2.5 to 3 years. And so when we wrote Meritocracy, we only had some evidence of how great it was. And we had some evidence from companies that were using Meritocracy to kind of start talking about that, to start having a conversation about meritocracy. But what we found out were there's some issues with meritocracy that have come to light over the last couple of years. And one of them dealt with how we deal with diversity. So if you're interested in how meritocracy works, you'll notice that I bring up the issues with diversity and how you overcome those issues. This starts that discussion on the problems with meritocracy. Now, on page 69 through 71, I also talk about this idea of holacracy. Now, holacracy is this new concept that we started hearing about around 2014, 2015, and we know it probably the best from media reports of Zappos moving to this really new management model. Now, when I first wrote The Open Organization, I introduced holacracy as another format for an open organization. Now, since then, I have seen evidence and read a lot of documentation on companies that have been using holacracy, and what we found are some challenges with it. Now, when I wrote this book, I intended for it to be a template for the 21st century organization. I in no way wanted this to be a one-size-fits-all approach to leadership and management and organizational development. I wanted this to be the starting point for a conversation, the starting point for a template, if you will, of how you might approach open. Now, the problem with holacracy is that it is a lot more rigid than an open organizational design that I intended when I started talking about open organization. It's a lot more rigid, and in my opinion, now that I've been exposed a little bit more to that discussion, I find it to be more of a one-size-fits-all approach to leadership and management. It is a way to do a somewhat open style organization, but I'm not going to call it a pure open organization by any stretch. So anyhow, when I rewrote this book in second edition, I went back and looked at Zappos and what was going on there. And so there's some other companies. Certainly Zappos is the most famous, but there are other companies out there that are using Holacracy that are having similar challenges. So when Holacracy was introduced at Zappos, they went through the normal process. And what we found was that nearly 40% of the workforce left under the Holacracy platform. They left because of differing reasons, but it all tied back to Holacracy and the problems thereabouts. So here's the thing. When Zappos took on the concept of Holacracy, they had roughly 1,400 employees there at the organization. Now, when you lose 40% of your workforce, that means that there are now somewhere between 700 and 800 employees left. So almost half of the workforce disappeared. They left. They weren't asked to leave. They left because of Holacracy. So there's some challenges there, and I explain those challenges in the text, and certainly have rethought my approach to the purist side of the open organization. I think Holacracy is an interesting concept, and in the book I say, many think it's a fad, and perhaps it is. We'll see. Maybe in the 3rd edition we'll take Holacracy out altogether, or we'll find it to be the greatest thing since the invention of the toaster oven. I don't know. But that is one of the other areas that I talk about. The final area that I talk about in this book in a new way is that I speak more on the distributed workforce, the remote workforce that's coming, the virtual workforce that is coming in the 21st century organization. Because I think that the next logical step in the open style system is that of a globalized work economy where we are spread out all over the place. And there's so many different discussions that come along with that. How do we manage those people from a distance? How do we deal with cultural gap, the differences in cultures? How do we communicate in an effective way? And there's so many dynamics that are just breached in this discussion here. Now, the open organization, again, is not designed to be a one-size-fits-all. In my opinion, it is designed to be a starting point of a discussion, or a starting point as a template for this idea of opening and creating a more flexible environment. Now, as I address in the book, an open organization, an open system is not, let me deal with the mythology of it. It is not chaos. It is very much dealing with an organized structure. There is hierarchy involved, believe it or not. Even in a leaderless or self-led environment, there is certainly hierarchy and structure, rules of engagement, and so forth. I think that the open organization is a really good read for any leader that's looking to create flexibility in their organization. I'm an ambassador for opensource.com, and that is a Red Hat organization. And Jim Whitehurst wrote a book also called The Open Organization. And he and I come at this from two different directions. I'm coming at it from more of a how-to scholarly approach, and he came from it from more of a application approach, from more of a skin-on approach. In other words, he is actually leading an open organization. So I check out his book as well, because both of these books together make a great partnership. And so I just want to encourage you to check that out when you're on Amazon as well. Jim's a great guy and a colleague of mine, and I'm happy to be found in the same realm with him when it comes to this discussion. So that's all I have for you right now on this topic. Please go to our website at MaximumChange.com. Check us out on Twitter at MaximumChange. Follow us there. Also, if you're interested in open organization, you can follow us on Twitter at OpenOrgs. That's OPENORGS at OpenOrgs. And that is our Twitter that is focused only on open organizations and topics that are related to that. You can also follow our other videos here on YouTube at Maximum Change TV. That's the channel that we have here on YouTube. And also, I do a regular show on Whooza.io/MaximumChange. So you could go there and check out what we're doing and follow us there. And when we do a live show, you can get a notice from us there. So I'm so happy that you've stopped in to watch this video. Please reach out to us. And oh, by the way, if you order the book and you like it, it would be awesome if you would go back to Amazon and do a review of the book, because other people might want to know about this as well. So glad you're here. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you soon. And go out there and find a way to make your organization more